This is my 7.3 IDI. I've got a intermittent hard crank problem. Sometimes it starts right up, cranks really fast, and sometimes it barely turns over, and when it does this you can literally turn it right off and restart it and it cranks over just fine. And the more this is going on, it's starting to crank worse and worse, so let me show you how it starts. It's around -1 outside right now. You can tell it barely started right there. Before this problem, it could be like -20 outside, and you cycle the glow plugs once and it would fire right up. You barely would have to crank it. Right now it's barely starting. So, and the batteries are new, and it still did this with the previous batteries. It's just gotten worse, so it's not the batteries, it has to be. I'm pretty sure it's a ground, or it's probably the positive battery lead, because mine's coming apart, so I'll go ahead and change that and see if it improves. So this is where I think the problem is. This is the right side battery. You can see this is the positive lead goes to the connector. And the original one, this broke off a couple years ago, so I put this one on. But this is just way too small, so the only one I could get, and you can see the cable isn't going properly. So I'm guessing and hoping that's where the problem is, otherwise it's probably some other ground issue, because this is a fairly simple truck to work on. You just have the two grounds, you get the positive lead. This wire that comes off the positive goes to the solenoid right there. This runs all of the electrics in the truck. And then this cable from here just goes directly to the starter motor. So if this is not the problem, it could be another grounding issue or something. But we'll see when I change the cable out. Also, these battery leads, they can look in fairly good shape, but if you peel back the rubber insulation, they'll be all green and corroded, and that can also cause all sorts of starting problems. And mind you, starting it like this, when it's really hard to crank over, you have a voltage drop and the amps really increase, so it's really a lot of stress on the starter doing it like this, which is not good. That's why I want to fix it. And it's also very annoying, you just sometimes doesn't barely start. Here's where the positive cable goes onto the starter. Right there, copper bolt, and that's 17mm. Already disconnected the batteries. Now there's no ground wire for the starter. This gets the grounding from the engine block, and you do have two ground leads that go from the batteries to the block in the front of the engine. So if you're having hard cranking problems like this, check the grounds and make sure everything's clean. Even take the starter motor off and make sure where they touch together is clean. I did that not too long ago, so I know that's clean. But sometimes you get electrolysis and corrosion between the starter and the engine block, and you get hard starting problems. Now just pull the cable out to the top. So here's the old cable out next to the new cable. The original one has this piece here that goes bolt onto the engine. This bracket with two 14mm bolts. The new one doesn't have this pad on it, but we'll still reuse this bracket and hold it in place. I got this off Summit Racing. Here's the button number if someone's wondering what it is. I just put the new one in. Here's the new cable completely installed. This smaller cable that comes from it that goes to the solenoid for all the electrics. It's a bit longer than the original one, but it doesn't really matter. It just coils under the intake right there, onto the positive of the battery. So it looks like underneath. There's the bracket I was talking about, is the two 14mm, and under right there is one of the ground leads. And here's the other ground lead for the engine. And it goes on. That's where the positive goes on to the starter right there. Also zip-tied the fuel hose out of the way so it doesn't rub against it and start leaking. So it's all together. Let's see how it starts now. Leave the hood open just in case it decides to catch fire or something, but shouldn't hook it up properly. Seems to start up better, but maybe it's a cold day, so drive it a couple days, start a couple times, see how it does, see if it's fixed or the problem randomly comes back again. Started perfectly right there. We'll take it for a drive, warm it up. Don't like letting it sit too long when it's cold. This night was like -12 right now. It's not that cold, but anyway. Before it would not start like that at all. It was barely crank over. So the glow plugs, I had it running like 10 minutes ago, for like 5 minutes or something like that. I still glowed it. It's cold outside and the engine hasn't warmed up at all. The glow plugs blowing it in helps starting it greatly. If it's in the middle of summer, like 20 degrees outside or more, you don't really need to. If you had it running for like 5 minutes and turn it off, you can pretty much restart it within a few minutes without blowing it and starts fine, but in the winter, it cranks longer. So it's been about 3 weeks since the last clip of this video. Haven't driven the truck quite that much, but it seems to be starting much better than it was before. It's been sitting close to a week right now. It's about 1 or 2 degrees Celsius outside right now, so see how it starts. The tile started almost immediately. It cranked really fast though. I'm definitely not to say it's the problem of the intermittent crank has been fixed. So see how bad it's smoking. Hardly any smoke. Looks pretty good. So I guess I'll end this video then. Thank you for watching.